Hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm a makeup coach and stay-at-home mom, and today I'm going to be telling you about my first run-in with the law. And just a disclaimer, this incident happened when I was 17. So after you listen to this story, don't come for me. My impulse control then was not what it is now. So let me just set the scene. It's a frigid winter's night in Ohio, and I'm just out hanging out with my friends. And I was newly following Jesus, but I was following Jesus nonetheless. So we weren't doing anything bad. We were just hanging out, having a grand old time. But before I left that night, my mom had told me that I needed to be home at midnight on the dot, or I was gonna be deader than a doornail. My mama didn't play. She meant what she said. So in true teenager fashion, I lost track of time, and by the time that I realized it, it was 11:50 p.m. And I was about 10 minutes in driving distance from my house. And keep in mind, I had only had my driver's license for 2 weeks. So I'm zooming on home, and thankfully there were like no cars on the road. But at 11:58, I reached this like 4-way intersection thing, and of course I get stopped at a red light. So I'm sitting at this red light sweating bullets because I'm worried that I'm going to be grounded for the rest of my senior year for being late for curfew. So you know what I did? After sitting at this red light for like 15 seconds, I looked both ways. I'm like, everybody buckle up because we're running this thing. So apparently in my teenage brain, I thought that it was better to risk losing my driver's license, also being grounded and going to jail. So I zoomed through that red light like I was a freaking NASCAR driver. And it wasn't but 2 seconds later that I see a police vehicle pull around behind me, and I knew that he was on his way to come and get me. And I was like, well, this is it. My life is over. So I pull over, and when this officer approaches my window, I instantly burst into tears. But this man could rightfully give 2 flips whether or not I was crying because I had intentionally broken the law. So he gets my license and registration, goes back to his vehicle, and when he comes back to mine, he looks at me and says, "What the heck is wrong with you?" So I told him the truth. I said, "Officer, I was just trying to get home in time or else my mama was gonna kill me. Is she really gonna kill me now?" So I look at this officer and I say, "Officer, please don't write me a ticket. Please don't tell my mom. I'm going to be in ministry school," which was true. I needed this officer to know that I was not a bad kid, that I was not an outlaw, that I was just a Jesus-loving, Bible-believing, stupid teenager that made a mistake, okay? Much to my surprise, he says, and catch this, "I won't tell your mom, but you're sure as heck getting a ticket." And I was like, okay, fair deal. So he goes back to his car, and I'm just sitting there, okay? When all of a sudden, my phone starts blowing up with text messages from my mother. And I was like, that son of a gun. He straight up lied to me. And listen, I don't blame him for telling my mom, but at least give me a warning about the wrath to come. So the officer comes back up to my window with my golden flippin' ticket and says, "Get home safe." So of course, when I got home, I was so grounded. But when I got to court, that judge looked at me and said, "Young lady, are you gonna be running the red lights in my city again?" I don't know why I said that in a southern accent. I live in Ohio. But nonetheless, I looked at him and I said, "Your Honor, I am a woman filled with the Holy Ghost, and I can assure you I will never run a red light ever again." And I'm happy to report that I have never run a red light ever again. But if you enjoy my crazy life stories, please like this video and let me know in the comments below. And until next time, stay safe and don't run red lights.